Hello everyone, and welcome back to a very dusty episode here in Farming Simulator 22. We are helping quite a few farmers here in the upper Mississippi River Valley, or UMRV, if I got that right, by helping them get their fields plowed. I don't know why a lot of them need some help. Maybe equipment is down, or they're just behind, I don't know. But we have quite a few contracts. Let me get to my contract screen here. Let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 contracts currently. As my game auto saves. So yeah, 9 contracts all across the county or the area. So any field that you see blinking is for us to plow. Brown just means that they killed off the weeds. Green means that there are plenty of weeds there. Of course, red is fields that need plowed. Imagine that. But our 3 fields don't need plowed. This one I kind of forgot about. It is still in very good condition as far as growth goes. Ooh, 55 is about ready to pop as far as getting harvested, which looks like it we have planted as soybeans. Yep. 55 and 58 are soybeans. 56 there, which kind of shows that I don't own it, but I do, is wheat. And 54 is canola. So we do own 4 total fields. 3 of them are only showing. And 56 is actually, as this says 50, is actually part of all of this side, all the forestry area, which is also 2.74 million. Yeah, I would love to buy it, but we're nowhere close to getting that. So yeah, technically this field here is part of 52, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's its own, but it says it's 50. Interesting. It's weird the way they've kind of reworked things, because like over here you got field 35, but the plot is 30, so I don't know. We are using Courseplay quite a few times today for just about everything, as long as it doesn't mess up. I think I'm going to take a quick second here when we get done with this field to kind of show you how I tend to run my Courseplay setups, and kind of give you an idea, if you're not familiar anyway, of how to do your own setup. But as you see, here we already did a headland, and I like to do that just to kind of, it's a toss-up for me as far as whether I do the headland first or I do the headland last. Because a part of me likes seeing, like you see here in the corner, we have that, well, if we stop moving, I kind of have that part that isn't exactly flowing with the rest of the corner. Oh, and he missed a little piece. That's kind of why I like to do 2 headlands. Oh well, if it says we get it finished before then, which I know it will, then yeah. A lot of times for a lot of different tools and equipment, I like to do 2 headlands, because especially when it's a field like this where it's heavily forested all around, if you do a minimum of 2, it tends to be less likely that you're either going to be blocked by a tree, or your equipment, if you're using something that's more trailed and not 3-pointed, of it getting caught up in a tree or what have you. So there is always that possibility. In the meantime, I think we're just going to get the time lapse going. Plowing is not a very exciting part of farming, but plus side is I have gotten myself out of debt on this farm. The other farm, not so much. But this one, we did have up to $250,000 of loans. I had some equipment issues that we needed to address and or fix. I was trying to get them fixed, but yeah. And we also did buy a semi truck, mainly for the. He's gonna keep missing those little bits there. You little punk. Yeah, we bought a semi truck to go with the trailer that we got. We have I don't even remember what I might have had before. But what I was running was, well, you know what? While he does his thing, hey, look, came right to it. That wasn't even planned. We had this trailer, or a trailer like this with the container on it, set up to be pulled by a tractor, like farm tractor, not this kind of tractor. Just to be clear. And after the last round of helping area farmers harvest, I realized I had enough, so we bought this Mack truck, single rear wheel or single axle, not double axle like a lot, simply because I like to have the maneuverability on this small farm. If we had a bigger farm, farm yard, it'd be one thing, but we're just gonna give this a shot and go with it. And of course I had to get in my beautiful orange, because why not? We also got this new header. This was not so much an issue of the other header with junk. I just was getting very tired of having to constantly connect it up, the wheels to it and all of that. It was the Honeybee trailer, for those of you that don't know, and it does have its own separate carriage unit. It can be a little difficult, and it's not just popping your header onto an actual trailer. You have to attach the rear wheels to it, and then attach the front bogie to it, which would be attached to your pickup truck or whatever you have pulling it. Of course, I did end up going with the Demco auger trailer here. The reason being, with having this Titan container, I had to be very careful about unloading my harvester, which we still have the same harvester. Nothing's wrong with it. We've just been maintaining it. It's still the Claas harvester. We still have our tiny little John Deere 6120. Of course, our JCB. And then, as you saw, our blacked out case tractor is out there running the ripper, or the plow, whatever you want to call it. We did invest in a few auger systems as well. This one, the only reason I have it up like that is for room space. I haven't quite figured out a proper place to keep these. There was one other auger that I'm wanting to get, but I need to start filling these up. You can't see it, but in the bottom right hand corner, this silo has the capacity of 1.4 billion liters. I have 0. This one has a capacity of 1.599 billion liters. I have 0. The reason being is because anything I've harvested, even on my own fields, have been going straight to sell. I'm trying to build up my income, but I have added a few key decorations around the farm. Private property, no trespassing. Both of those signs, not gonna lie, do get me a little bit of income, as well as being subsidized by the local municipality. And of course, I just had to get creative and put a T-Rex. And a Sasquatch, which I didn't get that very level. It's about here, you can't really see what it is, which is fine by me. It is Sasquatch. Of course, a few things down through here. Just kind of throw out my American pride. Hate me for that, or don't. My American pride is mine. You guys can have your own. So let's get back over here to the case. Get these time lapse going. I think, depending on where the next one is, well, Next one, I may just be quick one and done because it is a relatively should be relatively quick because I'm gonna come over and knock this one out before coming up and start to make my rounds. So I don't have anything up here. I got 19 and 22. Then kind of slowly work my way down because I don't have any aside from the field we're at up here, 59. I don't have anything else over here that I'm gonna be getting paid to do. So we're gonna go ahead. Let's go with that game plan. Come up here, then come back down and get up here to 19, which that was not the last field I harvested for someone, but the one before that. So that kind of gave me some decent amount of money. So I'm just gonna shut up. Let's get the music going and just watch some plowing going on. If you don't like that, I apologize. But I just love to get in here. It's a very nice, relaxing time for me to just get into the game and just play. Just drive, just farm. I do have plans once I get my funds up of getting cattle to this field farm, by the way. I know I'm still talking. I said I wasn't going to, and I apologize. But that just came to mind because I don't know why it just dawned on me I didn't mention that. The cattle will be coming. Or like I said, it's either cattle or pig. I can't remember what that barn takes. But I think it's cattle. Regardless, we're gonna have animals coming to this farm soon enough.
Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me, and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Taking into your hands a plan your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder, and f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm f***ed off at these f***ing clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
Alright, got that field done. Tell you what, this is the first time I've used the drone here. That actually gave me some pretty epic shots. Unfortunately, I don't think I can just pack it up and throw it in the cab. But I will have to remember to use that for future videos too. Yeah, this was the field I was talking about. That would be relatively simple and quick to do. Nothing really to it as far as the courseplay goes. But as you can tell, I did 2 headland passes on it, with the headland being the last thing. I'm not too concerned about driving in the middle of the road or flying directly over the road because traffic is turned off. I got really tired and aggravated with it, so at one point I said, alright, no more traffic. You're getting in my way. So I'm going to quickly make my way up to the next field. And there is where we're going to talk about how I tend to set up my course play. Alright, so I fast forwarded to the next morning because I wanted to have some light so you guys can kind of see what's going on when we do this. Unfortunately, it means it's raining, but because it's only plowing, we should still be able to do this. Assuming the thunder in the background isn't too much of a hindrance. Unfortunately, it means I'm not going to be able to fly my drone. And cue the train in the background in real life. So, I'll pull up the map here. No, we're not, because I keep forgetting that you guys can't see what I see on those sides. So, field 19. If I can get to it. Yeah, here we go. Nope. Yeah, we'll just go with this. Field 19 is rather odd because it has a couple different parts that just kind of split off. Then we have this hockey stick looking thing of grass in the middle. And that's actually a height difference between the two. I have no clue how this is going to work out. But for me, when you see this little part up here pop up, what that is bringing up the course play. I don't remember if I've actually talked about this or not, so if I have, I apologize. This could just be a refresher for you guys for how I deal with mine. If you haven't seen it, then, hey, guess what? You guys get to learn, if you want. So we haven't done anything with this particular field because, first of all, we don't own it. And when I harvested it before, I wasn't in this tractor, clearly, because we were harvesting, so we were in the harvester. Lovely. What we want to do is come in here, select temporary course. Note where I'm at on the field, just for reference. If you try to do that, you'll come into this page. It says target is not on a field. So we're going to back out. On one thing, to get to that, because normally I have it off, currently I have it's default set to either delete key, which you can remove that. You know, open and close that window. Or the other default is the right mouse button. I really need to get that removed from the right mouse button to a different button on my mouse, or just remove it altogether. Just so you're aware of that. So what we're gonna do is drive out here onto the field. It doesn't matter how you drive on there, just get onto the field. We're gonna hit temporary course again. And you see we have a nice white outline for the field. We're going to come down here to open/close course generator. And I usually like to pull it, if I can, pull the map so I can actually see the field that we're going to be working on. This is usually defaulted based on whatever attachment you're using. Or you can change how many tools are on the field. This is one I tend to adjust, which is the headland. I usually do 2, maybe 3, depending on the field and the attachment or the equipment that I'm running. I also tend to do center unless I'm harvesting, because harvesting, you want to start in your headlands clearly so you're not running over your own crop. I also tend to do anywhere between 10 and 15% overlap. That's just something I like, just to make sure that, you know, some of those cases where you might miss something if you don't have that overlap, you're not going to miss it. It's just my own personal preference. You can have it set to 0 if you want, but the max overlap is 25. The other thing is, this is where you... No, I'm sorry. So yeah, that is where you select either headland or center as far as what to start work on. Clearly, if you're reading, well, you really can't, and I apologize. If I was, as my game auto saves again, I really should up that when I'm recording. But yeah, you can skip rows, again, depending on the equipment. If you find your tractor having to do a lot of 20-point turns to get to the next row, you might want to skip a row or 2, because what I'll do is you'll skip however many rows you select. You know, it'll do it one way while skipping the rows, you know, kind of move one row over to get a new row, or if it's every other. So that can affect how it goes. I'll show you a couple things with that. So we got our field here. I'm not going to make any changes right now. We're going to hit generate fieldwork course. See how quickly this does it. Sometimes, depending on the field, it can take a little bit longer. Otherwise, it's fairly quick. And this might be taking a little bit longer just because it's trying to figure out how to handle this piece here, this piece. It may actually, because of how thin that is, it may actually have us driving over it. We'll see. But because that's there also, it may be trying to figure out a way to get around it as well. Yeah, because like field 21 over here. Oh, game's frozen, never mind. Field 17 or even 18. Those are pretty, at least from my experience, are usually relatively quick to populate in. I mean, even the one that's back here that I was just on, 63, that was mainly a few passes up and back, and it was done. It took us a hot minute, but you can kind of see here, it has a start point all the way over here because, like I said, I do have it set up to work on the center first and then worry about all these headlands. So this part, it's going to be a little annoying because it's going to do 2-foot passes side to side, but that's the way it populated. With as long as that took, I was going to kind of do a skip, kind of show you, because where I'm at, if we were to start on the headlands, it would start me there and probably have the stop point where the start arrow is, because that is the starting point right now as I have it set up. It can vary depending on all your settings and however you have it. So in order to get this inputted into the computer on the tractor, theoretically speaking, of course, we're going to close the course generator and we are going to start the job and then back out. So it's going to figure out exactly how to get over to the starting point. There we go. And it may just decide to throw us right off this cliff up here. It's not that much of a cliff, but it is a little bit of a steep hill there. As far as points go, we have 387 points? No, that can't be right. It's got to be the old one. We'll see if that updates when we get up here to the starting point. Yep, it's going to do what I thought it was going to do. Whee! At least that was relatively straight. So this eye kind of shows you all the different, there we go. So we actually have 2,910 points for this. It's good. It's listed to take 1 hour and 45 minutes. Yeah. In these small areas, I may actually be stopping it so I can kind of do a nice cleaner job. But at the same time, I think I might just leave it, see how it does as far as if the headland pass is doing any of the cleaning up. But that first part is always a little iffy. But this eye up here, now we actually have our pass, changes how you see your track. So right now it's set up to see, I believe it's set up to see like the next 15 to 20 points, as well as your previous 5. Something along those lines anyway. So when it's blue, that's what it does. Green shows everything as far as your track goes. And I mean everything. So what I tend to use this part for is if I have to do some of my own, kind of like that first part right there, I can get close to, or I can kind of use it to get lined up where I need to and use it to get back onto track. So that way I can just, because this says nearest waypoint, if I'm on a waypoint for the headland, if I'm closest to the waypoint for one of those, it's going to get me going on the headland. So I would use that to kind of get in line with this row. So that way I can just hit next waypoint and start. We also have it to where you don't see anything. Yellow, if I can get the screen turned, shows just the beginning point and just the end point. And I'm a little concerned as far as what he's got going on here. What did I miss? It's almost like he just didn't want to do this point. Well, we'll see what goes on. If I have to clean anything up at the end, I'll clean things up at the end. In the meantime, I think we're going to skip the tractor doing what it needs to. Oop. I hit the wrong button. I stepped him. We're just going to let him... Is it a him? No, it's a her. We're just going to let her do her thing as far as getting this field plowed up. And I may catch you when it's all said and done, which for me is going to be like an hour, almost 2 hours from now. Lovely. All right, everyone. We're just getting the field finished up now. I believe we're just getting started on the headlands. Well, actually looks like we're getting started on the secondary pass. I did not realize that there were all those little paths down there on the left. Interesting. Yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like when you get down to the headlands for this kind of field. You can kind of see exactly where it's at. We are pretty high up here. You can see a few spots, like the initial starting point, and it looks like one other that were initially missed. We'll see how it goes from there. We'll go to this view here. And of course, the tractor's getting all nice and muddy and dirty. Yeah, the rain eased up. We're, I believe, in our last day of September here. It says September 5th, but I have 5-day months, so yeah. I kind of wish when we were in this view that we could zoom in, considering, you know, it is a drone, so I would think you'd be able to zoom in with a drone camera as well, but I'm not going to complain too much. I do like the fact that we have a drone in-game. But this is taking long enough that I was actually able to get my dinner all cooked up, so while our driver finishes up this field, we're going to call the video there, guys. So as always, if you happen to like what you see, or if you catch yourself watching more than one of my videos, please do us both a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. That bell will let you be notified of every single video I post, and not just select a few here and there. And guys, if you already are subscribed, I thank you, and I greatly appreciate it. So with all that being said, we'll catch you in the next episode. Take care. Peace.